Welcome to the show. It's deep with a twist. We're laughing through the scriptures where humor coexists. Cultural. Come on and take a seat. It's playful and it's fun. Wherever it meets feet. Dive into the stories. Hear the podcast call. It's more mixed up with a smile in the cultural hall.
It is time for another episode of the Cultural Hall. It is an Articles of News episode chock full of murder, heavenly mothers, polygamy, and maybe we'll talk about a chapel being restored. I'm joined from a Marriott. Is there a Book of Mormon in the drawer? Have you looked?
It's like right back there over my shoulder, I think. Wait,
Yeah, not even in the drawer. They're putting it right on the nightstand. It
right
is
there.
Molly the Ash Ashton in town, and by town I mean the state of Utah. You've come home to Zion to
Yes,
spread that cookie goodness.
yes, I have. It's been a crazy, fun-filled 4 days. I've been here for our Crumble Owners Conference.
Do they have a fun name for that? You know how like Adobe has it's Adobathon or something like that. Is there a synergistic fun name that Crumble has for the big thing?
Not a name, like there's always a theme. The theme this year it was the future is now. Crumble, the future is now. So it was all
Okay.
futuristic, planets
Okay.
hanging everywhere,
Okay.
that's so it was good.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, it was really good. I was a speaker for one of the breakout sessions, and that's always nerve-wracking, but I don't know. I know my stuff pretty well. It went really well from what I heard. The CEO and CBO were both in my presentation, as was an executive from another brand that recently bought into the Crumble
Mhm.
brand. So anyway, it was fun. It was fun. I
But
met a
wait,
lot.
what did you speak on? You're doing the breakout session. What did you what teach me? I need to know.
I was speaking on quality and availability. So essentially, there's 5 pillars that
Mhm.
owners need to all fall within. There's cleanliness, hospitality, leadership, quality, and availability. And at
Mhm.
the end of the day, if you don't have high quality cookies and if they are not available to the customers, our stores are not open because they're not buying them and
Right.
all, that sort of thing. So it was really great. It was fun.
Uh, do they have fun things? Because I've been to conferences, not necessarily for Crumble, but do they have vocal triggers for people where they'll say something like, "And that's the way," and then everyone says, "The cookie crumbles." Do you guys have things like that?
We did. I would say we did the first couple of years. Now it
Okay.
just kind of feels like it's all business. Like we just want to find out, sales are slumping. Why are they? What are we doing next? What's the plan? What's the innovation? And so, yeah, there was nothing for this one.
Oh, boo.
No. But
You're gonna have to go back to the base ingredients back before the cookie was combined and made. Otherwise, we're gonna lose it.
I know, I know. Though we had the best keynote speakers yesterday, 2 of them. John Pinot, he's a motivational speaker, author, whatnot. He actually called me a few weeks ago to get to know Crumble and get to understand the business. And as he was giving his presentation, I'm like, that's what I told him. That's what I
Uh-huh.
told him. And he was sent to me because I mean, I'm like the original franchise owner of Crumble, other than friends and family. So
Mhm.
I was the original outsider, and I've just been here for so long that I've seen so much. So anyway, it was really fun. And then to like talk to him afterwards, he's like, "Did you hear what I said? Did you hear like everything
Mhm.
we talked about?" But then we heard from Terry Crews. Do you know Terry Crews
Sure,
from,
the bouncing pecs guy from
yeah.
and isn't he also in the Adam Sandler? Is he the We're Blending?
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
that Terry
Yeah,
Crews? I think that is.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yep.
He was phenomenal. I was in tears probably 5 or 6 times during his keynote. Like he's had a really incredible life, and it was really interesting. And anyway, it was great. It was a great couple of days. I'm tired and was ready to sleep in today, and I woke up at 6 a.m. So
Why'd you do that if you could have slept in?
I have no idea. I was so
Yeah.
angry. I woke up, I laid in bed for another 30 minutes, and I'm like, forget it, I'm going to the gym. So
Yeah. Did you do the buffet at the Marriott in Provo? It's a good one.
they have a buffet. No, we have just the lounge access,
Yeah.
so we do breakfast in the lounge, and it's amazing.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, excited to go back and be with the family, and then you're home for 2 days, and then a 10 or 20 day vacation. Is that where we're at?
I am home for 3 days,
Okay.
and in that 3 days, I have
Uh-huh.
been hosting dinner at my house a couple times and doing a team meeting and party at my house, and then
Mhm.
to Oregon to the beach for a few days. So
Oh, going back to the house.
yep. We're starting a renovation on it. So we're meeting with our contractor, and then I have a couple of friends coming who've never been. So
Nice.
it'll be
Get it finished before November because I'm going to pay you to let me stay there a couple of nights.
we would love to have you stay there. It won't be done before then. We actually aren't starting it till January. That's our low time, but I would love to have you stay there. So truly, let me know when you're going to be there.
Okay, done. And then anything else of note or excitement? Is there a new cookie? Anything? Are we looking at? Is there anything that you can tell me? Give me the
Um,
ingredient scoop.
I will tell you something. This is
Yeah,
because people probably already know this. They have launched dirty sodas in Canada at all of the crumbles there just a couple of weeks
interesting.
ago. So this has been in the works for over a year, and I've been very much in the meetings planning this rollout, et cetera, just kind of testing it to see how it would go.
Hmm.
It's killed it in Canada. They just don't have anything like that there.
Hmm.
It will be rolling out to one state in maybe 2 weeks. And then they did say everyone's going to be doing dirty soda because it has been really successful. Some of us, like in Arizona, I don't know how it's going to do because we have Swig and Fizz. We have
Hmm.
all the dirty soda places. I
Sure.
don't know how it's in Utah. But that is something very new to that they're going to be offering. And there are a couple of other things that they're hoping and planning to roll out next year that are very confidential.
Hmm. Hmm. That's
But you
cool.
know, we're constantly innovating. And that's the one thing I love about Crumble is we do a lot of desserts now, cheesecakes and brownies and other things. And like we're doing new things every single week. So it's kind of fun to be a part of this and just seeing what they are developing. So
I can't let it go without making the joke, but will you have room in your stores for me to open up my insulin testing and distribution company, Blood Sugar? Because I
yeah,
feel like if we're doing these massive crumble cookies, which are
I
so
know.
delicious, don't get me wrong, and
I
these
know.
dirty sodas, which also are so delicious. Some of them, like the protein ones, are a little over the top, and everyone who tries to tell me no, that's really good, shut up.
Yeah.
It's two worlds not combined. But
Yeah.
I feel like if you can, and I'm thinking about doing this as well, not just insulin and like blood sugar testing, but also like getting my doctor license so I can prescribe Ozempic. That way we
Okay.
can take them all the way through the cycle in the store. Would there
Yeah.
be a place for me to have that inside a crumble cookie?
Maybe right next door. In fact, we were just saying the space next door to us needs to empty out. We need more space in our stores. So maybe
Okay.
right next door. But
Okay.
then maybe on the other side, we have like a marijuana store. I mean, like
Okay.
we need people to want the cookies too.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So we can just have it all. One-stop
Nice.
shop. It's there.
Yeah, I think I'll start in the back alley behind the store. And
Perfect.
I'll have to prove the needles are clean and all that stuff for the insulin injections. But listen, every business crumble wasn't built in a day, so
Mm-mm.
we have to make sure that we are realistic as far as that goes.
Yeah, timeline. Yep, for sure.
I'm trying to think if there is anything that is exciting. It is full on wedding season extravaganza right now,
Yeah.
until the 2nd of November. It is so much everything, almost always, constantly.
How
So
many
that,
weddings a week on average are you doing during
I mean,
wedding
like
season?
this week I'll do four. Most I'm 3 weddings a week, and then I'm
Okay.
usually picking up like I just picked up Nordstrom of Utah as a client,
Oh,
and might
very
be doing
cool.
Nordstrom of Colorado as well. Boom,
Nice.
boom.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah, kind of fun. And people that are in Utah, if you know Red Butte Gardens, I'm doing their Halloween extravaganza. They call it Botanical Gardens this year.
Oh, yes.
It is
Very cool.
Wizard of Oz themed, and so I'm going to come dressed as Dorothy, of course.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll have a cowardly lion because I already have, and the scarecrow, of course, and the Tin Man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe I'll do a thing. I'm playing around with it. I may do something like, "Behold the great and powerful wizard," and there's nobody in my booth
Oh,
for a minute.
yeah.
It's to be determined. But yeah, I'm
Now,
trying to find. Oh, go ahead.
is that an ongoing thing, multiple days or?
It is 16 nights in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll pay if I had a mortgage, it will pay the mortgage a few times over, which is nice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very.
But
Hey, I
you know what it isn't? Going to the beach house in Oregon. That's not what it
well,
is.
I was gonna say, like, as soon as you're done with that, then you need your break at the beach house in Oregon.
That's
So,
1,000% what we're actually doing. It'll be We did this last year, take a couple weeks because
Yeah.
there's nothing going on in the industry from that at the end of the first weekend in November until Thanksgiving. No one's getting married, not really. No
Yeah.
one's doing holiday parties too early. There's a few things here and there that you can pick up, but for the most part, you just kind of go, you put the old shingle that says gone fishing, and then you
Yep.
come back right after Thanksgiving. So,
That's perfect. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Hey, I have to tell you, I got a Facebook message the other day from a listener.
Uh-huh.
And he said, since the Cultural Hall is a show and not just a podcast, I wholeheartedly support you changing the outro to be hear or attend because we got video now. So everyone can do more than just listen. So
Mm-hmm.
thank
Mm-hmm.
you to Grant Butler for
Yeah.
sending me.
Yeah, you can tell. So Grant is the one who's in charge of our YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he and I had that discussion. Listen,
Got
it's not as fun if I just say, "Oh yeah, the way that you did it is just fine." It's not as fun for me. But you're
Yeah,
right. You can
yeah,
view, you can listen, you can view and listen, you can interact, and as Grant demonstrated, you can also reach out to us, and you can do that. Contact at theculturalhall.com. Go and subscribe, even if you are not a YouTube watcher of the episodes. It helps us quite a bit, and then helps us to be able to be seen. And I'm thinking about this is kind of fun. I just got a couple of those like clip-on lav Rode mics that attach to your phone.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking about not right now because I'm too busy, but as we get to the little bit of the slower season, like doing a quick news of the day, like dentist gets sentenced, blah blah blah, and just doing
Yeah.
like a quick little video and then putting it out, and then each of the stories get a minute or less. It's like here's the latest news from today, bada bada boo, bada boo, bada boo. But
Yeah, that's
it,
good.
it takes a little more time than I have right now.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, let us take a break. When we come back, I was not being hyperbolic when I said we're going to talk about murder. We're going to talk about death. We're going to talk about polygamy. That's part of it. You don't even know what that is.
Don't
Uh,
I'm excited.
yeah. And we're going to talk about oof, oof, Ruby Frankie. All right. All that and more, because who knows what we'll end up talking about coming back in the second half of Articles of News. Let me take just a moment to tell you all about bestdjinutah.com. That is the website where you can learn all about me. Oh, sure, you probably feel like you know me, but you know me in the cultural hall sense. I have a DJ company now, 6 of us strong, great event hosts, MCs, and DJs that can be able to make whatever event you have coming up absolutely spectacular, and hope you will reach out to us. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, Richie, I don't live in Utah. Would you travel? Absolutely, I would travel. Would they travel? Absolutely, they would travel. Whatever your event is, doesn't have to be a wedding or a community event. We can do all sorts of things. I can teach you line dancing. I can dance with you. We can do partner dancing. We can do all kinds of things, but we can't do any of it if you don't hit me up. You can go to bestdjinutah.com. You can fill out the form to get more information or get a quote, and then I will get right back to you. Find out why I'm so busy and why sometimes we don't get episodes of the Cultural Hall. It's all because of bestdjinutah.com. Here in the second half of Articles of News, we do actual articles of news. So hit it, Peter.
You can't lose articles of news.
And away we go. The church has released 3 new topics essays. And there's a little bit of hubbub on the internet about them because one of them is to address and does address and is addressing, currently addressing, plural marriage. You've probably seen this, and in the last little bit, there are kind of, for lack of a better term, polygamy deniers. People who think that Brigham Young was the one who started it and tried to say, no, Joseph did it too, so that he could, have the acceptance of everyone or whatever. This topics essay from the church goes into great detail about plural marriage. There's also another one about the Book of Mormon translation and about Joseph Smith. It's called Joseph Smith's Character. That is what that topics essay is all about. And then the third one in this set is, the third one is Book of Mormon translation. So when you talk about translation, because when we think about translation, we think I'm looking at a word and then I say the word and then I translate it to English, and they talk about how the translation process was not that way and what we mean by translated and should we say translated and how all the things behind it. But there is a new topics essay available. And I'll tell you what, I think maybe it was you and I that were talking about this before, that like we should have the practical lessons every fourth
Yes,
year. Was that was you and I,
that
right?
was us. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, I 1,000% would like to add into that. So now maybe we're cycling through every 6 years, but we
Mhm.
got Old Testament, New Testament, Book of Mormon, Doctrine and Covenants, and Pearl of Great Price. Then you have like practical, like be a good human being, and here are some good practices of hygiene, financial things, home ownership, blah blah, those kind of things. And
Yep.
then the sixth year would be the topics or the essays, and we
I
just
would,
go every time we just go through one of the essays
yes.
church.
I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Yep.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, are those topic essays added to the LDS tools, or where do you find
Yes.
them?
You can find them at Tools. You can also find them online at lds.org and search topics. But I'll tell
Okay.
you what, even as long as they've been around, which I want to say is maybe 10 years now, that's when the first set came out. And the church in the last little while has been putting out more and more. The people that know them and or the people that know the doctrine and or the people that know the clarity that comes from the topics essays,
Yeah.
5% maybe.
Right. Yeah. I don't think they're widely talked about. I mean, I don't know if anyone really knows about them, you know.
Right.
I'm looking at some of them right now and they're very interesting and things I could rely on, when my kids ask me hard questions and that sort of thing. I think this is actually really, really valuable. And I do wish it was talked about more. I think
Right.
that's a great idea.
We should. Like there is, and this is a perfect segue to our next conversation, an topics essay that about Heavenly Mother. And
Oh, yeah.
this I thought was interesting. Elder Oaks over in Europe talking about, and I actually, guys, get ready for this. Get prepared. Get excited. I actually have, if I have done this correctly, I actually have the audio for of Elder Oaks saying this that has a lot of people going, what?
So we know that we have a Heavenly Mother or mothers,
En we weten dat we een hemelse moeder hebben of moeders.
but for reasons the Lord has not revealed, we do not know much about our Heavenly Mother.
Heavenly Mothers. And there was a lot of people that are like, Heavenly Mothers.
Yeah. Yeah. What do we
I,
think?
I, I've, like to me, there's a thing, this will seem so irreverent, but there's a thing in like comedy or like in movies or whatever where you say uh buy the bit buy the premise buy the bit, right?
Yep.
Which is to me, I just go, okay, well, let's talk about this. President Nelson, our prophetseer and revelator right now, sealed to his first wife,
Yep.
and guess what, sealed to his
What?
second wife as well, right?
Yes.
So
Yep.
someday, I'm not dooming him to death. Spoiler, this is how we all get out. He'll die. Then, spoiler, guess what? His second wife will die as well.
Right.
So they will be mothers to the ancestor, or to the
Posterity.
posterity is the word. I was going to say lineage, and I knew that wasn't right. So those will be their mothers.
True.
How does that work? I don't know.
Yeah.
But when Elder Oak said Heavenly Mother or mothers, and everyone went, I just was like, okay, it stands to reason. Like there's some things I know that we don't talk about them, we don't verbalize them. Some of those things make people a lot, pretty uncomfortable. I would imagine that if I were to ask you, hey, if you died and your husband got remarried, how chill would you be with being sealed to him and another person? And you probably wouldn't like that much.
Right. Yeah. It's a
Right.
hard thing to think about for
Yeah,
sure. It's hard.
sure.
Yeah.
Or similarly, he dies and get, anyway, all to say, it's
Yeah.
a thing that exists that we just go, that's a hard thing to think about. I don't want to talk about. But if you spend 2 seconds at it, it's like, yes, of course there would be heavenly mothers. Of
Yeah.
course there would.
Yeah. Of course, for sure. Now, I will say, I have talked to my husband about this. Of course, I want him to remarry if I
Mhm.
die, but as long as he marries someone I really, really like, one of my really good friends,
Oh,
then we can
yeah?
be together in heaven.
Yeah, but what
Um,
happens if you don't like her? That's the thing.
no, I know. Like, I could say, Well, my dad is not sealed to a second wife, so I
Okay.
can say that. I really don't think my mother would enjoy living with my dad's second wife. They've never been sealed. So
Sure, sure.
my dad has asked us, he will not listen to this. This is fine that I say this.
Yeah.
He's asked us when they die if we would do their temple work for them. And I basically said, if you couldn't get your crap together to do it here on earth, like why would I do that? Because
Yeah.
anyway, I
Yeah,
don't have
but
a great
wouldn't you just give the option? That's how I always look at it. Like when I go to the temple and I'm doing work for other people, I'm like, here's hoping.
yeah, yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, genuinely, right?
Yeah,
Again, that's another thing because I think that in our heart of hearts, and you'd hope, and I certainly this is the want that I have. Otherwise, why am I doing the work at all if I'm
yeah.
not thinking anyone is accepting it? But you kind of go up and you're like, "Yeah, all right,
Here
Jim
we
Sverdnik from Sweden in 1742. I sure hope you like what I'm about to do for you.
go.
Ah, he didn't. Shoot. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. I have that same feeling occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah. So the idea of heavenly mothers, I think as far as the speaking goes, a couple of things are fairly obvious to me. One, I think it's just a misspeak. I don't
Yeah,
think he was trying to be like, and let's now open this discussion about mothers.
right.
Two, I think it's a plus B. Of course, we have mothers, and C. I just think I wish Elder Oaks could just take a break. He looks so old. I feel like so much love for these brethren who have dedicated their entire life, and I just feel like it's like emeritus if they want
Right.
to do it, please. Because
Yeah.
I can't, and maybe this is why I'll never be it. This and about 10 other reasons. But I just think like at some point I'd just be like, I did my best and I want to watch Matlock and I want to sit and drink a Diet Dr. Pepper and go to bed at 4:30. Like
Totally.
I don't know. I don't know.
Totally. Yeah, I hear you. I agree. I'd probably be the same. I don't know how they can come up with so many things to talk about, honestly. It's like, whew, you've been doing this for 40 years. You still have things to talk about. It's crazy.
Sure. I think they recycle, if I'm being honest, because I remember one time I saw Elder Holland, and then it was like a general conference a couple years later, and I was like, have I seen this? Is this deja vu? Why do I? And I was like, oh no, he uses
Yeah.
elements of the thing prior. Sure.
It's been 10 years, time to recycle it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I hope they are. Well,
Yeah.
and also, if you look at, in fact, we were just having a conversation about a talk that President Oaks gave several years ago, and my daughter has really had a hard time with this particular talk, as many do with several of his. And I was like, you know what? I think if he was speaking the exact same talk today, it would very much be changed. But, 20 years ago, things were a little bit different. I'm like, I'm a different mom now than I thought I would be 20 years ago. So I had to
Sure.
really explain to her that, anyway, so I'm sure there's a lot of these prophets and apostles, their talks where they're like, all right, well, I'm going to recycle 70% of that. The other 30%, we're just going to leave because that's history and things change. So,
Sure. Sure. And in a way, and people will go, like I think there's a lot within the church that's like that. Look at our response in 2008 with Prop 8, and now the way that we engage similar Prop 8s across the country, like
totally,
that's a night and day sort of difference.
totally.
Is the doctrine still the doctrine? Yeah, you bet it is. But the way that we engage in it, we go, "Ooh,
No,
that was not the Jesus lovey way of doing that."
right. Right. Well,
Um,
I mean, exactly to that point, and on a much smaller scale, I was telling my girls like 20 years ago, if you would have told me I would allow my girls to be wearing bikinis, I probably would have been like, no, like I would never,
mhm.
like, but my girls do wear two-piece swimsuits if they want to now. And they were so funny. They're like, really? You wouldn't have let us 20 years ago? I'm like, even like 6 years ago, I probably still would have been. But things change and we accept things better. And, anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, and like personally, this is a thing for me that is kind of ridiculous. Like, I remember in my first marriage just being furious about being late for church. Like
Yep.
just one of these very things. It's like it's only a couple hours a week. We
Right.
can do it. And it's not like I'm more prone to being late, but it's interesting because now it's just me and I'm not bringing someone else with me and everything like that. It's interesting the way that you just go. Maybe the point is arriving in a spirit that I can be receptive to things that I need to be taught and less about 10:01 as opposed to 10 o'clock or even 9:55 or what that might be.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love the phrase two-piece bathing suit. I swear Mormons are the only people that would call it one. I mean, there's a lot of people who call one piece, but I
Right.
swear Mormons are the only people that would say that's a two-piece bathing suit.
I know, I know. It sounds a little better than a bikini. I don't
Sure,
know. It's like
sure,
a little
sure.
less, like, I don't know, revealing maybe. You can have a two-piece that shows like 1 inch of the belly and some
Yeah.
that show a lot more. Anyway,
Were
but
they
you're right. I don't know.
were they petting? Were they heavy petting in a two-piece bathing suit? Like that's a Mormon conversation that I'm just like, guys,
Oh,
1950 called
is that phrase even a thing anymore? Because I've
petting.
definitely never used it with my children.
Yeah, so what would you like?
I just say touching inappropriately
Okay,
or
okay,
touching
inappropriate touch. Yeah,
clothing.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But petting is
yeah.
like so weird. It
Yeah,
is
it is. It is a little weird. It is a little weird.
like if
Uh,
I could say, could someone just, well, no, don't define it for me because obviously I know what it is, but how did that term come to be? That's
well,
what we,
and I'm sorry that you don't know what it is.
I mean, you should be sorry for that.
I'm teasing. I don't want to know any more about that. Embarrassing. My face is red for even saying what I said. Yeah, I don't know. It's also funny to me, and I don't want to go much further into this necessarily, but I'm sure that there are new aged terms for like what my grandparents would call sparking, or what when we were growing up would call Levi lovin'. I'm sure that there are terms for that, and I just think it's so funny that we have these ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Soaking being the big thing that it is talked about on, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. Those other things that I described are a much minor way of that. But we just have these terms for being like, and then was there heavy petting? It's like, oh my gosh. You mean,
Uh,
did I touch a boob? Yeah, I touched a boob. Like that's and then maybe the bishop feels inappropriate by saying that, but that's I don't know. Like maybe I heavy petted. It was sort of light. I thought I was being gentle. I don't understand. Yeah, some of that stuff.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I want you to talk about murder. Can we go there?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Craig, Dr. Craig I forget his first name, James maybe, in Colorado. So he was accused of poisoning his wife back in March of 2023 and killing her. The trial just ended yesterday. He was convicted and was sentenced to life in prison plus an additional 30 years with no possibility of parole. Now, this is so interesting to me. I've listened to this on podcasts the last couple of weeks as the trial was going. He never testified, nor did the defense ever call anyone to testify. And all I can think is, well, how do you have any chance of winning if you don't even have someone who can vouch for you, right? Who can
Hmm.
be like, oh, yeah, I knew this because he claimed that his wife was depressed
Mhm.
and that he was basically just helping her to end her life so she wouldn't have to live anymore. And all of the witnesses on their side, on the prosecution side, they said, absolutely not. Does every woman suffer from depression in their life? I mean, we all do for sure, but she
Mhm.
absolutely wasn't depressed. Um, and would she have agreed to a long, drawn out 10-day death? Because that's essentially what happened from the time he started poisoning her. They found evidence on his computer at his dental practice of Google searches, or, how long does it take to kill someone by poisoning? What are the best poisons? All of those things. And he
The
was poisoned.
undiscoverable poisons.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
that was the term. They had text messages. He apparently was cheating on her their entire marriage. And basically, the family is saying, is she just now decided to kill herself because she was mad about you cheating on her? She's known you'd been cheating on her for 23 years. Like, none of it made sense. None of it added up. And it's just devastating, devastating to his poor children and that family that, like, why can't you just own up to your crap you're doing, get a divorce, walk away, but instead you do this. And thank goodness the jury very quickly made the decision. The judge actually invited the jury back in for sentencing, which doesn't always happen, and most of the jurors attended. And yeah, anyway, he's getting what he's owed, and
Yep.
I'm really glad.
And if they would have done one of the lesser charges, he could potentially have been out by now, as I understand it, because if they would have done manslaughter or any of these other ones, but
Right.
because Colorado has a life when you've been found for felony or murder in the first or whatever.
Yeah.
Here's what I think is interesting about that. Why are we talking about it? Because he's a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. She also texts him and is like, I feel like I'm being drugged. And he's like, nah, nah. Active in their local congregation the whole time while he's cheating.
Crazy.
And then also, so a couple takeaways. He also wanted to try and get the defense attorney, or I'm sorry, the prosecuting attorney killed. Like he talked to other people in jail.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Yes, I
hey,
forgot that part.
do you know someone who could off a few people? Now, not. I mean, he's a dentist, and so I have to think fairly smart. I'm not a dentist. I don't, I don't make what a dentist makes. I don't have sort of that almost godlike mentality that they describe dentists and doctors and those have.
Yeah.
So I've got to think that's probably why he thought he could do it and get away with it. But note
Right.
to self, don't search it on your work computer or on your home computer, and incognito mode doesn't, hide if you're searching, how do I kill my wife with, cyanide or these different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
It's deplorable.
yeah,
And, I never could dig up, like, was he like in bishoprics? Did he hold high callings? Like, I don't
right.
know. Maybe he was just whatever. So I don't know. But yeah, from what I read, they were very active in their ward the whole time.
Yeah.
So
And you were about to say just a minister, but
I,
ministering is one of the most important callings in the church, Molly the Ash
I
Ash.
know. I know. I had to stop myself because all callings are important.
Yes.
But you do
Opportunities for growth.
wonder. Yeah,
Sure.
you see some of those that are in higher leadership callings. You see some that are always in the high leadership, and then suddenly it comes out that they've been harboring child pornography issues. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just like no one's perfect. We all have issues, but yeah. Anyway,
It would
really,
be a thing that would be hard for me. Say I was going through some sort of struggle and a bishop came down hard on me, for whatever that struggle would be. And then months or years later, for that bishop to have something come out that was going on in the time that he was coming down on me, it would be really hard for me not to just be like, the hell, you know?
exactly. Yeah. And I've had friends that have had those types of things happen, and they do say, the hell, and no, why would I continue attending?
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to kind of navigate as far as leadership goes, especially lay leadership and all that. But I also too, when I see those people that are like really like overly valiant and those things, I just go, there's
Yeah,
something
what's going on?
there.
Yeah.
There's something behind that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, let's go. What do you think? We talked about
I,
that. Oh,
I
go
really
ahead.
want to talk about the B. Ashworth little museum here in Provo quickly.
Do it.
This Brent Ashworth. And what's so funny is I walked right past it last night. We were at dinner and then we went to Rockwell Ice Cream to get ice cream. And I
Delicious.
so good. And I saw this door and I saw that it said B. Ashworth. And then I get the email from you and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what this is. So he is a collector of Mormon memorabilia and early American artifacts. He has over 2 million items
Jeez.
housed in 20 storage units spread across the state, which represents one of Utah's largest private collections. Many of his things could be found in like the Library of Congress, the Smithsonian. I want to share a few of the things he has. He has Joseph and Emma Smith's family Bible, the flag that traveled to the moon with Apollo 11, letters signed by the founding fathers, George Washington's wallet, a handwritten letter signed by Elvis Presley, Amelia Earhart's flight jacket, a signed photograph of Marilyn Monroe, a Bible William Bradford brought to America aboard the Mayflower, and a brick from the first White House torched by the British in 1814. I am like so excited about this. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to head over there tomorrow morning before we, record the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's only open like 3 days a week from 2 to 5. And I
Yeah.
think you can make reservations to have him show you at a different time. But I just think this is incredible. And I'm not a huge history buff, but I love like historical museums and I love learning about, World War I and II and all of the things. And I think that that's getting lost on future generations. And I think that like this sort of thing is something that we all need to like go and see these things because this is incredible. So anyway, I'm actually really excited to come next time I'm here in Provo and go check it out.
Tell you what, let's do it, and I'll go with you, and we'll invite anybody who else wants to come because I would love to do it too. And it's the weirdest stuff too, right? It's like Ted Bundy, member of the Church of
Yeah.
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, his name carved into a tree. He's got
Yeah.
like that section of log. I just imagine this guy's house to
Oh,
just be like stacks upon stacks upon stacks, and he's like, listen. I know I have the original Book of Mormon. The gold plates are in here somewhere if you can find.
I
Moroni knew they'd be safe here because I can't find anything, but I got them.
exactly. That's exactly my thought too. And he said, yeah, that he accused Ted Bundy of stealing one of his books because they were in one of the same college classes together.
Jeez.
I'm like, this guy is crazy. And he said that the Mark Hoffman, the Mormon bomber from the mid 1980s, he said he learned that he was a potential target of Mark Hoffman at one point because of the artifacts he held. I
Mm.
mean, this is remarkable. He is 76 years old, so I'm hoping that he's healthy and doing well. I think it said maybe he's serving a mission right now here in the area. But yeah, let's do it in the next
I'm in.
I'll be here sometime. So
I'm in. That's all we need to do is to just make a time and go down there. We'll make sure that we invite everyone else to be able to join with us as well. That'd be fun. Do a little outing. And at very least, maybe I'll reach out to him and see if we can't do an interview there in his museum, be able to see some of the things, or I don't know.
oh, 100%. That would be a really fun interview, actually.
Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt back in the news because there is a docu-series. Yes,
Yeah.
another one. It's coming
Another.
out on Investigation Discovery and will stream on HBO Max.
Yeah, so I was wondering, like, do we need more about them? Like, we've had a couple of documentaries, a couple of shows. I am fascinated by the story. And, a lot of it says, obviously, we knew Ruby Frankie was already a semi-emotionally abusive mother. She had her things. And they said that once she met Jody Hildebrandt, that really sent her off the rails. Like that, it was like probably if she had never met Jody, her kids wouldn't have suffered the abuse they did, probably. But this docuseries interviews a ton of people who were patients of Jody Hildebrandt, just kind of talking about how she kind of ruined a lot of people's lives with her teachings and her therapy sessions and that sort of thing. And I will absolutely be watching it. I'm fascinated by their story, and I think it should be really interesting.
The name of the series is Ruby and Jody, A Cult of Sin and Influence. And you have to say it like that when you're reading something like that. I
course.
think that that's pretty fascinating that we're continuing to do it. And you know what? We're gonna watch it. We will
Yeah, we are.
watch it. Of course we will.
Of course.
Kevin Frankie recently interviewed on a previous guest of the Cultural Hall. Julie is her first name. It didn't used to be DeJesus. It's something else.
Azevedo? Julie Hanks?
No, not Julie Hanks, not Diazevedo. It was Julie, but remarried. She does the ICU podcast, and she recently sat down for almost 75 minutes with Kevin Frankie. There will be a link to that in the show notes. And she says, in kind of the tease that she has, this is not the Kevin Frankie that you're seeing in the documentaries and in the specials and in the series. So it's worth a listen. It's called ICU Living, the podcast. So there's a link for that in the show notes. You can check
I'll
that out.
definitely want to listen to that. I'm curious.
But I can't wait. September 1st for Ruby and Jody, A Cult of Sin and Influence. And they're going to have to get it in because that's about the time. I think they're saying September for the second half of season 2 or season 3 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is September.
So they've got to get this in first before, we're all focusing more on that.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'll go by the wayside, and we cannot have that.
Absolutely.
Just in time for General Conference in October.
Oh, I feel a little blasphemous even talking about that.
In the same breath, right?
Yes.
Let's go here because I thought this was interesting. This is from the Daily Mail, which everyone will eye roll. I know Daily Mail is for my money though. If there's going to be an online source that's going to give way more information about something we're not talking about here in the States, it is the Daily Mail. Now, they will say, hey, there are sources, and I've never seen anything where they've had to recall anything. Like, they've been pretty spot on about, like, this is what, this situation is. It's
Yeah.
inflammatory or clickbaity to try and get you to read it, just like any other of these online resources. But the headline is, I was born without limbs and adopted by Mormons. They wanted me to be a motivational speaker, but all I wanted to do was dance. Now tell me why you wanted to talk about this story.
I found it very interesting. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the social media presence that this is. Brielle Adams Wheatley is her name. She's transgender female, so was born male and until 2 years ago was living as a male. I just want to point that out, but I will call her Brielle. So she was adopted from Brazil. The family she was adopted into already had 11 children. And in fact, the mother was, I think she was pregnant with her 11th when the mother found out about the story and was compelled to adopt Brielle. Well, she said that she had a vision from the angel Gabriel and was told that she needed to adopt this little boy who had no arms and no legs, was born without them. Her husband was like, we can't do this, whatever. He was, I think he worked as a seminary teacher, worked for the for CES. Anyway, they ended up adopting him. They brought him to Utah, and he ended up living, from what I could tell, a pretty good life. But his dad really wanted him to be a motivational speaker. They used tough love, made him learn how to do everything on his own. Sorry, and I'll go back to calling because she is a female now, Brielle.
Yep.
Um, but but as a child, the siblings weren't allowed to help her with anything. So she really had to learn how to do everything on her own. The only thing she can't do is drive, but can do really everything else. And it was interesting because, like you said, I don't know, it was a very long article and it was interesting to read. And then I went down the little rabbit hole and looked at her Instagram and TikTok. She's married to a man, was married a couple, maybe 3 years ago. Um, Anyway, and she said she had received a scholarship to go dance in college, and her dad forced her not to take it and made her continue to be a motivational speaker. COVID actually shut down her motivational speaking, which she said was a huge blessing because she was really struggling. She wasn't loving it. I mean, she was doing it, but it just became not a happy part of her life. And she was like, I want to be more fulfilled. So it does makeup tutorials. She shows how she does makeup on Instagram and TikTok and does dancing and whatnot. So here's what I wanted to talk a little bit about is, she has a huge following on these social media platforms. And I really wonder, is it more the curiosity from people? Like, it's not necessarily that she's a great makeup artist or that she's a great dancer, but it's more people are like, this person has no limbs. Like, this is really interesting. So we were watching her do makeup last night, Andy and I were, and we were like, I mean, it's amazing. She's holding like her shoulder, holding like the makeup brush between the counter and her shoulder. And I was like kind of fascinated by it.
Right.
So I thought, you know what? Good for her for finding something that, people are watching because they're fascinated by it. And she's making money off of it and
Yeah.
is happy and successful. And I think the point of the article too was in celebration of the Americans with Disabilities Act, she is going, or I don't know if she already has done it or if it's this weekend, going to climb the 41 stairs of the Utah State Capitol to commemorate that 35th anniversary. So anyway.
There's a few things within it that, to me, that I'm just like, it's a little bit of our like culture coming through. Where it's like, I received a vision from an angel, and it's like, did you? Is that? And then the other thing where I can just see the Mormon parents being like, God gave you no limbs. He gave you this calling to be a motivational speaker. And she's like, I don't think so. And they're like, oh yeah, yes, explain it any other way. And she's like, well, I can do these makeup tutorials and these other things, and I can dance, and people like that. And they're like, nope. Stewardship here. This is what you're supposed to like. If there ever were the heavy-handed parent weigh-in of this is what we think you should do, and the child going, no, I'm not going to do that. And it doesn't have to be a person with no limbs. If you started saying to your daughter or your son, hey, this is what you will do, guaranteed what they won't do is whatever that thing is that you tell them.
Right.
You
Exactly.
will go to church. I'm betting I'm not going to go anymore.
Yeah. Well, but what I was glad to read about is she said that she has a great supportive family, great relationships. It seems like, from what I could tell, she has a good relationship with her parents. It's not like something that she's like, he forced me to do this and now we have no relationship. I think it was just like, this was the plan, and I have made a different plan for myself since COVID. So,
It's definitely worth checking out because I mean it is a fascinating, and we say no limbs. It is no limbs of an individual. So
yeah.
that's worth checking out.
Yeah, and I think the Instagram handle and TikTok is no limbs, like no underscore limbs underscore something. So anyway,
Yep.
it's really interesting, and it's amazing what she can do with no limbs. I'm like, it's a good thing I was not born that way. I don't know if I would have had it in me to do all that she can do. It's really
Of course you would. You were the original Crumble franchisee. Come on.
actually, you're right. I would have figured it out.
You would have.
I don't know if I would have cared about wearing makeup. That would be too
No,
much.
no, maybe not. Or
Yeah,
maybe you would have been the best motivational speaker ever, but you would have figured it out.
you're right.
Wouldn't be
You are right.
Molly the Ashton being like, "Meh, I'm not, nope, that's not who you are.
Yeah,
That
you're
is
right.
not who you are." Former LDS Church Relief Society General President Bonnie D. Parkin, who was president of the General Relief Society from 2002 to 2007, just passed away at the age of 84. Born in Murray, raised in Harriman, rich pioneer heritage. She was a graduate of Utah State University in elementary education, and then met her husband, married in Salt Lake Temple, had 4 boys. They moved to England to serve as the London South Mission presidents in 1997, and then came back home and was the Relief Society president. Said, quote, "As members of the Relief Society of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is it our blessing and our responsibility to nurture and sustain the family unit. Everyone belongs to a family, and every family needs to be strengthened and protected." So it seems like we had just recently lost another of the former General Relief
Yeah.
Society presidents. So
Yeah.
thoughts and
Yep.
prayers and all that. It's crazy to think that I mean 2002 to 2007. That's some formative years of my life, likely yours as well. So I imagine that that people would go, "Oh, hey, yeah, that's a significant person in some individuals' church going life." Molly has disappeared. Are you all right? Everything okay?
My husband is just taking our luggage to the car because we're
Okay.
leaving pretty
And you
soon.
didn't want
So
us to see the luggage go? He's not wearing any clothes, is he?
no, he was like like crawling on the ground like a snake to pick something up over here, and he's like, I muted it, turned off the video. I'm like, just pick it up and take it
Yeah,
over.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, listen, it is worth subscribing to us on YouTube just to see the stuff that goes on behind Molly when we're
No
recording.
kidding.
I am constantly amused of what is that? Is the dog? What is the dog doing? That kind of
I
stuff.
know.
Kids,
Are your kids wearing
husbands,
clothes?
yeah,
Like,
all the
yeah,
things, all of the things. We got a couple minutes actually. We've gone through quite a bit of stories. You wanted to talk about the Catholic presence
yeah.
back at BYU.
Yeah, I thought this was great. So, this was an article. It was talking about the Catholic presence at BYU. As we know, obviously it's a church school, but non-LDS students make up less than 2% of the entire population, which I've got to be honest, that's less than I thought. I assumed there was maybe a bit more than that, but it is less than 2%.
Mm-hmm.
And on July 22nd, Fernanda Romero, a Catholic student from El Salvador who arrived at BYU in 2022, found that there was almost no opportunities for Catholics to practice their faith on campus. So while searching for a Catholic community, she emailed BYU's university chaplain, who suggested that she revive the Catholic Newman Club, which had been founded in 1997 but later shut down. It says that she eventually reached out to other Catholic students and asked them to join. Through the efforts, the club grew and began evangelizing to other students, often passing out rosaries and inviting others to club events. They had to jump through a few hoops. They presented the idea to BYU. They had to find a priest who would be willing to oversee Mass, and then they had to have permission to use candles indoor. And the first Mass was celebrated on campus January 16th for the very first time in years. And I thought this was awesome. And they said they thought they would get maybe 150 students at that first mass, but they had over 350 people who attended, and the majority being LDS students, which is great. I love attending mass when I am in other places. I think it's really interesting to see the way that other people celebrate their religion and worship Christ. And anyway, I think it's fantastic. I think everyone should have an opportunity to worship how, where, and where they may. And if we can help provide that for them and allow them to, we want diversity at BYU,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yeah, because
So,
we have one less Jew there now. There's only two.
yes, you're
He
right.
transferred to Tulane.
Yep, yep.
Uh,
So
at a
they said
quarterback.
they hope it remains a positive experience, that they can continue it, and they have plans to continue expanding through the next school year and beyond.
Yeah,
So,
cool that it's weekly. I think cool to know that it came about because one student was like, "Guys, we need to do this." Cool to see the support of the community, and I think that it should be right. And then, funnily enough, the fact that it almost didn't happen because they're like, guys, we know you like candles, but we can't have open flames inside our buildings.
no,
So I listen. I know this is a part of your air quote faith, but we can't talk about tripping over the wrong thing.
right, right.
And then lastly, to kind of regroup around what we were saying earlier, think about like 50 years ago, Bruce R. McConkie and everything in Mormon doctrine, where it's like the Catholic Church is the great whore of the earth, and then fast forward to now, where it's like Catholic Mass is on BYU's campus again. Just doctrine is the same as it is, but man, we are better in
That
some ways.
accepting.
Uh,
Yes,
in some ways about it in 2025.
we're
In
getting
other
there.
ways,
Still
yeah.
have a ways to go, but
Yeah.
let's continue.
All right. So, this is in the Philippines, cyclones. It is that time and season. We're about to monsoon season. Do you guys get them down in Arizona?
Oh
In
yeah, yeah. Monsoons are huge for us. I mean, the rain just pours, and we get flooding everywhere, and it's
Yeah.
our favorite time of year.
Yep. So hang on tight because it's going to be it's earthquake tsunami season. That was wild.
Yes.
It
Oh,
is.
I had to worry a little bit about my beach house the other day. I mean, I
Oh.
was having people text me. They're like, the tsunami waves are coming to the Oregon coast, and I'm like, we're okay. We're
Uh-huh.
gonna be okay. But yeah.
And then yeah, you got you got all the things. So here's what was funny. Last night I was in a very small town outside of Logan, Utah, which you're thinking Logan's not that big. I was in the town of Manaway,
Oh, I
which
love Hanaway.
yeah, there's the reservoir there, and some people say Manchoa, and
Yeah.
some people say other things, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, I'm in town. It's a little bit windy, and I'm setting my stuff up, and the town, like, oh my gosh, it's a tsunami. Oh my gosh, it's a wildfire. Siren goes off like
Oh,
super
wow.
loud. And I was like, what in the world is happening right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I really did. I immediately went, am I hearing anyone scream? It's not a gun, something. I looked to the skies to see if there was like fire coming. Because had a fire been coming over the ridge, I would have had to be like, oh my gosh, abandon this stuff and let's get in the car and get out of here,
Oh,
based on
for
where
sure.
I was related to nature, right? Like, what is going on? Come to find out, in that town, whenever someone calls 911, they throw the siren so that people know that there is something or someone in that community that is in need of help.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So
That's
I
really
guess,
interesting. What a
yeah,
small town thing to,
yeah. I don't know why it seems like that would be like boy crying wolf kind of thing,
yeah.
but good to know it worked and that I could hear it.
Yeah.
So the members finding refuge in meeting houses as cyclones sweep across the Philippines. I know that there has been a tremendous amount of support from the church for those that have experienced flooding down in Texas and in other places as well. I think that it's significant and just worth a kind of aside. We don't talk about this nearly as much as we did in the 80s and in the 90s, but I think that it is worth a repeat here, especially as we go into this season, that like if your needs and or you have taken care of you and your family, you are then able to help out other people. If you know you have enough food, if you know where your this is, then you can start to be able to look outward and go, how can I, Molly, be able to help the people of this community when this thing occurs? If you
Yeah.
have not taken care of yourself, then obviously the thing that you would need to do is take care of you and yours first. But I
Right.
think that that's part of the value that we don't often talk about. It's like, have this, be ready, be able to do this so that when it comes, you know that you are taken care of and you can go, my neighbors, oh my gosh, they don't have, or I need to help connect these people, or these people need to evacuate, or whatever the thing may be.
Mhm.
It's not just taking care of yourself, it's taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And I think that that's a huge piece that we miss within.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And I think that like with this cyclone and with the earthquake that just happened and the tsunami and the flooding in Texas and we're seeing a change in weather. We're seeing things are happening even more so than probably used to. I think we all need to be really prepared for those. Like I was just saying, we love monsoon season in Arizona because we get the rain and it cools down for a minute. But the flooding can be very, very real, and we aren't prepared always for that. And I think that it's just, yeah, really, really important that we're preparing ourselves so that we can help those around us.
Yeah. I'm no doomsdayer, but the end is coming in the next 6 months, and your children are zombies. So everyone listen to what I'm saying and make sure that you, jeez.
I remember hearing that from someone a
I'm
couple
not sure.
years ago. Yeah.
The thing that's so hard about it, and we'll kind of close here. The thing that's so hard about it is there's a certain amount of responsibility that we all as human beings need to take to do these things. But it
Mhm.
seems like if you're like, oh yeah, I'm prepping a bug out bag, or we're making sure that all of our documents are in order or in place, right? So our insurance is in the same place as our banking passwords and all these things. Like people start to treat you different, like you're a little bit crazy. And it's like, no, I'm taking care of this stuff. I wish we could flip the stigma that we have. Just this is not church related necessarily, but to go, are you taking care of the things that you need to? Great. Good for you. Encourage others to take care. Now, there's too far. When your children become zombies and you need to unlive them, that is too far.
Right. Yes.
Take it from a few people.
Yes.
But you can just be like organized, responsible, or whatever. I know he's got to get the other luggage. Let's wrap this thing up. Come
Oh,
on,
you're
Molly, let's
good.
go. He's got
No.
to go. He's ready to be in the back of the camera. Let's wrap it up.
No.
We hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body.
And if you were not well enough to listen this week, you'll be well enough to listen next week.
Or watch it if you would like, or subscribe to it and not listen or watch it at all. And that when the time comes, you will be able to travel home in safety. In the meantime, go Tar Heels. Chris at Alpine Lakes Travel, Debbie Wanless, Chocolate Cake Bites Podcast, and the Tiger with a U will be saving a seat for you
On the back row
of
of
the Cultural Hall.
Save me a seat, it's sure to be neat on the back row. We really gotta go on the Culture Hall show.